CNN here is going to talk about impeachment, and President Trump is apparently demanding an immediate impeachment hearing in the Senate. And some people are taking an interesting line in response to that. Let's take a look.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi extends an invitation to the president, who is, quote unquote, mad as hell at her. Speaker Pelosi has just officially asked President Trump to give his annual State of the Union address. That's next February 4th. And it comes hours after reports of the president's anger about being in essentially impeachment limbo. This is what he tweeted. "I want an immediate trial!" Exclamation point. But both the House and the Senate cleared out of Capitol Hill for the holidays, so it's apparent the president is not going to get what he wants before Christmas. And that specifically is to know the House will actually be sending the 2 articles of impeachment to the Senate, triggering the impeachment trial. Speaker Pelosi has made it clear she has not done that yet, delaying the handoff while expressing concerns if senators will actually hold a fair trial. But Trump supporters, they are calling her out for being unfair. Here's more from Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham.
I just left President Trump. He's mad as hell that they would do this to him and now deny him his day in court. The reason they're denying him his day in court is they know their case sucks.
One scholar is speaking out about Speaker Pelosi's delayed handoff. Harvard law professor Noah Feldman testified for the Democrats during the impeachment inquiry. And he says if the House doesn't send the articles over to the Senate, that means the president has not technically been impeached. Let me read for you what he wrote in Bloomberg. Quote, "If the House does not communicate its impeachment to the Senate, it hasn't actually impeached the president. If the articles are not transmitted, Trump could legitimately say that he wasn't truly impeached at all."
Huh? www.what.com. Okay, that opinion, who, by the way, is the Democrats' impeachment expert, so it's hilarious that this guy said that. He's the only person, the only expert who has that opinion. And, I mean, I just want to be clear about this. He made that up. It doesn't say that in the Constitution at all, that you have to send it to the Senate for him to officially have been impeached. Now, I will admit that the way we use the word impeachment colloquially is like you think of the president being removed from office. And if that's not the case for you, that's definitely the case for me. Every time I heard, the word impeachment growing up, my thoughts on it were like, oh, okay, so the president was basically officially rebuked and removed from office for some, serious wrongdoing. Now, but that's not, the way we colloquially use it is not what it actually is. Impeachment is just what they already did, which is passing through the House with a simple majority, articles of impeachment. Now, he wasn't, and, this is obviously an important distinction, he was impeached in the House. He wasn't impeached in the Senate and therefore removed from office. And obviously, there's a big distinction there. And whenever anybody talks about this issue, they should be clear and say Donald Trump was impeached in the House, because then it's more, people will obviously understand better what you're talking about when you say it that way. But make no mistake about it, the opinion of this guy is utterly made up. The idea that, you have to send it to the Senate in order for him to officially have been impeached. Where does it say that in the Constitution? It doesn't say that anywhere in the Constitution. So for him to make that point is a little absurd, especially since every other expert is like, bro, nobody knows what you're talking about. That's not true at all. For him to be impeached in the Senate, he has to be impeached in the Senate. For him to be removed from the office, he has to be impeached in the Senate with a 2/3 majority. But he has been impeached in the House. That's just a fact. So it's interesting because, and this gets into the heart of this story, which is backwards land. Everybody is all over the place. So the Republicans, who have never listened to a word that this Democratic expert has said in their entire lives, they disregarded his whole testimony in Trump's impeachment hearing, in the inquiry. But now that this guy said something that they like, they're all like, oh my God, no, this guy's right. This guy's right about, the fact that he technically hasn't been impeached yet, and let's keep talking about that. Let's keep focusing on that because it's exculpatory of their man, President Trump. So it's just sheer, partisan hackery and opportunism, that they found somebody to say something which makes them feel better, so they're going with that. But the reverse is also true, I guess, as well. So you have the Democrats who took every word that this guy said as gospel. Now they're like, oh, he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Well, you guys were all fawning over his testimony during the impeachment inquiry. So which is it? Do you think everything he says is so spot on and right, or do you think he's wrong? Now, I'm actually consistent on this because I thought his testimony was trash. And I also think his opinion on impeachment now is trash. And I think it's utterly made up. And it might even be like a weird just political ploy for him to try to get Pelosi to send the articles of impeachment to the Senate just because he wants those articles to be sent to the Senate. But that gets to the other thing, which is honestly just sheer backwards land, which is now the positions have flipped where the thing that the Democrats want is the thing that would hurt Democrats, and the thing that the Republicans want is the thing that would hurt Republicans, in my opinion. So the reason why Pelosi hasn't sent these articles yet to the Senate is because she's trying to she's trying to guarantee like a fair trial in the Senate. And they're having disagreements over whether or not witnesses will be called. And the Republican position is, and this is seemingly what they settled on, I know there's disagreement within the ranks, but the strategy that they settled on is, let's try to get this over with as fast as possible. Let's have the trial, acquit the president, and move on and be done with it. That's what McConnell ultimately wants. Now, the Democrats want the reverse of that. They want a longer impeachment trial, and they want to call witnesses because they've made the calculation, we think that'll help us. If you have all the witnesses show up and say, oh, Trump did very bad things, that'll help them. Now, I think McConnell and Pelosi are wrong in their deductions here because I think a long trial is likely to help the Republicans because they're much better at flipping the argument than the Democrats are. And I think they can effectively make it like basically putting Joe Biden and Hunter Biden on trial, and you're going to walk away thinking they're on trial and it's not Trump who's up for impeachment. And the opposite is true too. I think if you have a shorter trial, that doesn't help the Republicans as much as it would if it was longer. So I think they're both wrong in what they want to happen, and they've both made political miscalculations. But my position on it is, and I was telling you guys this all along, I think Pelosi is accidentally doing the right thing here. Now, she is going to eventually send the articles to the Senate. I don't think she should send them at all. I think she should just sit on them from now until the end of time. Why do I say that? And we'll get to some numbers on this later, but the second you send it to the Senate and you have the trial, let's not kid ourselves. Donald Trump is going to be acquitted. And so we're going to walk away from this and effectively nothing's going to change. You just made a whole lot of noise and then Trump walks away scot-free. And in that situation, his poll numbers are going to go up. They're going to go up 5 to 10 points easy. So now, since the mistake's already been made and you impeached him, the strategic error has been made and you impeached him, now best case scenario is just sit on the impeachment and blame McConnell. Sit on it and go, oh, they want me to send the articles to the Senate. I'm trying to send the articles to the Senate. Go talk to Mitch McConnell. He's the one who's blocking it. He's the one who's making sure that we don't have a trial and we don't have a vote on it. Don't blame, it's not me, it's him. Blame Mitch McConnell. Blame Mitch McConnell. Blame Mitch McConnell. And by the way, Donald Trump has officially been impeached. Donald Trump's been impeached. Donald Trump's been impeached and Mitch McConnell blocking him from going to the Senate. Wow. Isn't that crazy? If I'm Pelosi, that's what I say over and over and over and over and over. And what happens as a result of that? We're already seeing it. I'll get to the story later in the show. Support for impeachment has bumped up. It went from 48% to 52%. So now it's a majority. Granted, those aren't amazing numbers, but it is literally best case scenario for Democrats at this point. Or I should say, least worst case scenario. So this is as good as it's going to get from here on out. They're peaking. 52% support for impeachment is as high as it's going to get, bro. So why not just sit on the articles indefinitely and just keep blaming McConnell? And here's the deal. Donald Trump is melting down. Donald Trump is melting down over this. He's like, oh my God, send it to the Senate. Oh my God, let's have a quick impeachment trial. Oh my God, why aren't they sending it to the Senate? So, guys, he wants his name cleared. He wants his name cleared. And so if you give him the trial and you acquit him, it's 100% guarantee he's going to get acquitted. Because you need to get over 20 Republican votes for impeachment. That's not going to happen. Well, you didn't get any in the Senate, or excuse me, in the House. Actually, you got one, but the guy is now no longer a Republican. He switched to being an independent. So you got one, let's say, if I'm being kind. Really, the actual number is 0. So you think you're going to get over 20 in the Senate? It's not going to happen. So since that's mission impossible, and you know he's going to get acquitted, you know that's going to clear his name, you know that's going to bump up his poll numbers, do nothing. I'm surprised that there are people, and I've seen this, I was arguing with Cenk Uygur on Twitter. I was like, why are you in a rush to acquit Trump? Like, that's what's going to happen, is he's going to be acquitted. Don't be in a rush to do that. The fact that Donald Trump so desperately wants it to go to the Senate and to have the trial shows what? He knows what's going to happen. He knows he's going to be acquitted. He wants to be acquitted so he can walk around, do a national bragging tour, puff his chest out and say, see, the do-nothing Democrats and the deep state, they tried their witch hunt, they tried their hoax, and let me tell you, folks, your amazing, wonderful president has survived all of it. You can't take me down, folks. Teflon down. So don't give him that. Just sit on the impeachment articles, keep blaming McConnell, and keep repeating, oh, Trump has been impeached, by the way. He's been impeached, he's been impeached, he's been impeached, he's been impeached. Now, the final point, and this is like a little low-key after-the-fact thing here, but guys, Nancy Pelosi sent a letter to Trump saying, okay, let's officially set your State of the Union address for February 4th. Now, hold on here. If Nancy Pelosi is so sure that impeachment was the right direction and that, Donald Trump will get his day and he's going down over all this stuff, if she was so sure of that, why would she send a letter now saying all the way out in February 4th, we want you to give your State of the Union? It's almost like Nancy Pelosi knows 100% Donald Trump ain't going anywhere. He's going to be right there, come hell or high water. You're not going to impeach him. He's not going out. If you have a trial in the Senate, he's going to get acquitted. That low-key proves that she knows he's going to get acquitted. And she knows that this was doomed from day one. Because, if Nancy Pelosi really believed in what she was doing here, she would think Donald Trump's going to be out of office by February 4th. He's going to be gone by February 4th. We're going to impeach him in the Senate. We're going to send the articles. We're going to have the trial, and we're going to win. It shows she has no confidence in what the Democrats did here, and she knows it's going to fail. Do you understand how you've been had? You've been took? I mean, I told you guys this before, but as they're doing this, fake resistance against Trump, which they know is going nowhere, what else are they doing? Approving every single piece of legislation that he ever wanted them to approve, ever. That's what's going on. I mean, if you've been following this stuff, you know the National Defense Authorization Act. That got passed. You know, it gave the Republicans every single thing they've ever wanted. You know that they're also giving him his USMCA, which is NAFTA 2.0. And so they want to hand him a victory in that respect as well. They keep, as the peak of the fake resistance is happening, behind the scenes, they're like, yes, Mr. President, I will give you your entire agenda. So, it shows that this is one of those things where they want to feign the resistance, mark it like they're resisting. See, we're holding him accountable as they turn around and keep business as usual functioning. Business as usual, which helps Wall Street and the military-industrial complex and their donors. So, she ain't no legislative master, Pelosi. She just happens to be accidentally doing the right strategy right now. And again, the right strategy right now is just sit on the articles, do nothing, let Trump have his daily meltdowns, keep blaming McConnell. By the way, that is a problem because they're doing step one, which is just don't send the articles to the Senate, but they're not doing step two. Step two is you have to keep blaming McConnell and shifting the focus to him because the Republicans are flipping it and they're saying, no, it's Pelosi's fault. And now the media is starting to go with, oh, why isn't Pelosi sending it? Why isn't she sending the articles of impeachment? I don't understand this. So you have to flip it. You have to say, no, it's 100% McConnell's fault. He's not guaranteeing a fair trial, so I'm trying to send the articles and he won't have it. So keep flipping it on him, but definitely don't send the articles. So she's accidentally doing the right thing by not sending the articles, but eventually she will do the wrong thing and she will send the articles, and then it's off to the races until Trump's approval rating bumps up 5 or 10 points. cut your losses. Get up and leave the table. I'm telling you, man, you got to do it, because right now, 52% support for impeachment, that's as high as it's going to get, bro. I mean, maybe if she keeps sitting on it, it could go up to 54%, 55% at most. But this is like peak Democratic win in a very bad scenario. Second, it goes to the Senate, and then he gets acquitted, his numbers are going right back up. So don't give him that. And let him keep melting down over how he wants you to send it to the Senate. And just say, hey, I'm trying to send it. It's McConnell's fault. He's the problem here. Go talk to Mitch McConnell. So anyway, impeachment is a mess if you can't tell. And everything is backwards. And it does ultimately feel like a giant, colossal, ridiculous waste of time.